Russian president calls for political solution to Ukraine crisis. I'm Ifechuku Moyole with the news. Former chairman of Emoha local government area, Alan Ma, has described the second resignation of the Rivers State commissioners as unhealthy. Mr. Ma believes that Governor Siminalayi Fubara may have been misguided. He spoke on Nigeria Info FM's Morning Crossfire.
Well, the resignation to me is not in good faith. The situation where commissioners will be resigning is not healthy at all for the government. Then in the other way, what is the governor doing to them? The governor might be doing them one thing or the other. It's either their commissioners and their office are not being recognized. Such commissioners can resign. I think that the Rivers people are also not doing well. Rivers are giving him morale. Do this, do that. Not for the interest of the government that people will be resigning. I think the governor should correct what he's doing that makes them to resign.
He also accused the governor of frustrating the commissioners.
What would make him resign? To do that, the governor is still having some malice. He say, if I'm the commissioner and I don't get fired, so break. Why am I a commissioner? Secretary, I do my work in the office. Why am I a commissioner? If a commissioner for justice, for example, is there, it's not out for the and the notifications harvest. Why is he a commissioner? So the best thing commissioners should do would be to resign. That those resignations is not a good image of the state.
Recall that 5 commissioners resigned from the River State Executive Council yesterday. They are the Commissioner for Education, Chinedu Mmom, Commissioner for Housing, Gift Mwolo, Commissioner for Transport, Jacobson Mbina, Commissioner for Social Welfare and Rehabilitation, Inime Agoma, and Commissioner for Environment, Austin Ben Shoma. The commissioners cited a toxic environment and the unresolved political crisis in the state as reasons for their resignations. They were among the commissioners who first resigned from the governor's cabinet last December in the wake of the political crisis in the state, but were readmitted into Governor Fubara's cabinet following President Bola Tinubu's intervention. 3 commissioners, Zacchaeus Adango, Emeka Nwoke, and Alabo George Kelly, also resigned from the Ministries of Justice, Special Projects and Works in March and April. The resigned commissioners are all loyal to the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. And now the Senate has asked the federal government to stop further allocation of funds to caretaker committee-led local government areas. The Senate said this during a motion sponsored by Senator Suleiman Kawu. The lawmakers also urged President Bola Tinubu to, as a matter of urgency, champion the cause of full autonomy for local government in the country. As you may know, the tenure of local government chairman in River State will officially end on the 17th of June. There are talks about the government appointing caretaker chairman as the State Independent Electoral Commission is yet to begin preparation for local government elections. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, says the commission is waiting for the courts to determine the status of the lawmakers who defected to another party in River State. Professor Yakubu said this at the second quarterly consultative meeting with media organizations held in Abuja on Wednesday. He said there are 32 members of the River State House of Assembly elected during the 2023 general election, and the commission has no business with the resignations of the assembly members. He said those resigning should address their letters to the clerk of the assembly, not INEC. Professor Yakubu said INEC has been bombarded with letters from those emerging as speakers, and even the PDP urging the commission to declare their seats vacant. The INEC chairman said the commission is aware that the matters are in court and will wait for the pronouncement of the court to act accordingly. He, however, listed Kana 2 state constituency of River State as one of the 4 state constituencies across the country that are vacant. He said the commission would announce the dates for by-elections into the affected constituencies as soon as necessary modalities were completed. Moving on, Catholic Archbishop of Sokoto Diocese, Matthew Kuka, is optimistic that the key actors of politicians in River State will certainly fix their problems. Father Kuka, who said he was at the villa to invite President Tinubu to an event, spoke while responding to questions from State House correspondents.
The important thing is that politicians will fix their problems. River State is a place that is very dear to me because I've been associated with them for a very long period of time. But look, I mean, when politicians fight, don't get carried away because they have their capacity to fix their quarrels. And I hope and pray that Rivers State will sooner than later reposition itself, because it is not an insignificant part of Nigeria.
Meanwhile, the Rivers State government has awarded a contract for the construction of the second phase of the Trans-Calabari Road. The contract was awarded at a cost of over 225 billion naira. The State Commissioner for Information and Communication, Joe Johnson, said the construction will last for 32 months and the money will be sourced from the state's internally generated revenue.
Have awarded contracts to the tune of 222 billion 114,563,8302 for the commencement of the construction of the Trans-Calabari Road. This is the main Trans-Calabari Road, and we're not going to be borrowing money for that project. That's about the third phase of us generating fund internally for our road project. Expected that the contractors will mobilize to site.
Following yesterday's fire incident that destroyed goods and properties at Mbono Street, D-Line area of Port Harcourt, the Federal Fire Service is asking citizens to equip their houses with basic firefighting equipment. The Deputy Controller of Fire for the service in River State, Favour Garba, said if they were basic fire extinguishers, the damages would not have been limited.
They should have elementary firefighting equipment. They can tackle the fire before it gets out of hand. The Nigerians don't want to hear anything about fire service. They don't want to buy fire extinguisher. Somebody will spend money and build house, cannot protect their house from fire. I'm still advising everybody should make sure they have equipment. At least when the fire was, you know how to handle it.
On the state of the Federal Fire Service in the state, the Deputy Controller of Fire in the state said it may be difficult to get new equipment if the state government is not directly involved.
Tanker is still undergoing maintenance. So if we can put tanker on the run, we'll still be using the two appliances, depending when the service will give us one appliance. I've told the governor to write, because if he writes, his own memo will have more impact. So far, that happened in Elena and on. It's not something that should happen to repeat itself, because we have to fire to.
Yesterday, a fire destroyed goods and properties worth millions. An eyewitness said the fire started from a supermarket in the area and spread to other buildings.
Fire burning right now for more than 30 minutes. Nobody has seen the fire service people, be it federal, state or company. People are running helter-skelter. Everybody is trying to see if they can help. But the kind of fire we are experiencing here is not something that ordinary water can help. The inferno is too much.
In other news, the national president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Joe Ajero, says the government is not serious about negotiating with the unions on the new minimum wage. Mr. Ajero said this after the leadership of the union walked out on the government for proposing 48,000 naira minimum wage. He explained that the federal government does not have the necessary data to negotiate with Labour.
Nigerian Labour Congress and the International Congress of Nigeria expresses profound disappointment as negotiations on the tripartite minimum wage resumed today will reach an unfortunate impasse as a result of the apparent seriousness of the government to engage in reasonable negotiation.
Still to come, court issues warrant of arrest against embattled Adamawa State Rec. Stay with us.
Are you up to date with ideas for sustainable development?
92.3
You're welcome back, and now the rest of the news. As the world marks the International Day of the Boy Child, global statistics reveal that approximately 1 in 6 boys worldwide experience some form of sexual abuse before adulthood. In an article published yesterday, an expert, Halima Layeni, said the figures likely underestimate the true scope of the problem due to stigma, shame, and societal disbelief. This year's theme is Cool Boys Managing Anger and Aggression. And now a high court in Adamawa State has issued a warrant of arrest against the embattled state resident electoral commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Hudu Yunusa Ari. Justice Benjamin Manji Lawan issued the warrant yesterday. He ordered the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Mutoku, to arrest and produce the embattled wreck in court with immediate effect to stand trial on 3 counts. Ari is to stand trial for usurping the powers of a returning officer to declare the All Progressives Congress APC governorship candidate Aishatu Ahmed Binani winner before the collation of results for the election was completed. And now straight to business. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) says the country's gas sector is now well positioned to help businesses in the country generate more revenue. The Group Chief Executive Officer NNPCL Mele Kyari said this in Owerri. Now in entertainment, the result of the autopsy conducted on the body of the late singer Mohbad is said to have been unable to ascertain the cause of his death. A senior advocate of Nigeria, Wahab Shitu, said this while addressing the press at the coroner's inquest held in Lagos State yesterday. In sports, Arsenal and Manchester City have made contact with Newcastle United's Brazil midfielder Bruno Guimarães over a summer move.
And now we bring you news from around the world.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has called for a political solution to the Ukraine crisis, while Chinese leader Xi Jinping called for a 2-state solution to the war in Gaza. In a joint media appearance in Beijing, the Chinese leader also praised his friendship and deep ties with the Russian president.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Now that's about the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. Former council boss accuses Governor Fubara of instigating resignation of commissioners. Senator calls for an end to allocation of funds to local government caretaker committees. Court issues warrant of arrest against embattled Adamawa State wreck. And on the foreign scene, a Russian president calls for political solution to Ukraine crisis. The news was edited by Onyekachi Nwosu. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechuku Moyele. Many thanks for listening.
Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info.